I've been taking loads of photos and forgetting that I need to get my camera out as well. Anyway, I've not really done a lot so far. All I've really done is strip the front panel cables out, which is just a couple of screws, and I'm giving the LED lights a bit of a push. Then I also popped the mesh out of the roof, because obviously we're going to need to trim this later. The front panel just kind of pops off. I need to work out whether I'm going to cut the Bit Phoenix logo out or not. I'm pretty sure at the moment here is where, after the carbon's gone on, here is where I'm going to have the kind of outline of the NurburgRig track to kind of tie in with the name. We've all seen like the next bit before, so there's no point me kind of doing it too much, but obviously as with the 6-hour challenge rig, I need to take out the front drive bays, which these all come out. I've also got to take the optical bays out because I need to cut this whole bottom section out. This actually is completely removed, so we just have the sides of the drive bays. So I need to buzz all of that out. Also this time, for those of you that did watch the 6-hour challenge rig, I need to try and save this bit. Now, there's not really a lot of structural there, but it's just enough for me to stick another couple of bolts through for the radiator fan grill, just to kind of give it a bit of extra. I may get the hot glue gun out and just stick some hot glue over these bits to try and help it a little bit more, but I'm hoping I should be alright. The only problem is when I actually take the drive bays out from the other side, that's when things might get a bit loose. If it does come out, it's not really a massive problem because it was fine in the black and red one. So it won't be too much of an issue. But once we've got the drive bays and everything out, I can test fit the metal in the bottom. I'll put that in and then try and connect a power supply up, because I may have to pull these pads out. When I'm also cutting this, I will cut the tabs off for these, because these aren't going to be getting used at all. So these tabs all need cutting off, or at very least pushing round the other way, because I've got a blanking plate to go over this as well, which we're also going to cover in carbon, or carbon effect film before people start getting picky. So yeah, it's pretty much the same old stuff as the other one. I'm not going to do any cutting of this tonight. I'm just kind of stripping the case down a bit, getting it ready. I was just at a loose end and I really wanted to get cracking. I actually did want to do the carbon film tonight on the front and on the roof, but I forgot I've not got any blades in my scalpel, so it's all a bit mad. So I'm just doing a little bit of here and there to try and pass the time this evening. You may see some alcoholic beverage creeping in at some point as well. But yeah, I'm going to go and drill these the inside out so we can get a good look in there. Right then, lads and lassies, before it gets too late or too far in it, I've already kind of videoed a few bits of this, but I'm just going to start doing a few bits on the NurburgRig today. I'm actually really starting to love that name. So yeah, I'm going to start doing a few bits on the NurburgRig, just the basics. As I've kind of already said, but it's later on, I was going to do the carbon film tonight on the front and on the top, but I've not got my scalpel, or rather I've not got a new blade for my scalpel, and the one that I've got's not massively sharp, so I don't really want to risk it. So I'm probably going to go and get a new scalpel and some new blades as well over the weekend. But yeah, anyway, these videos are going to be very much like the video blog style stuff, where I'll have the camera in my hand a lot and try and walk you around stuff, especially when we're doing like stripping the heatsink down and stuff like that, ready for paint. That's another thing I may even do tonight, is take the 590 apart so I can have a good look at the heatsink. But while I've been making this video, I've remembered I've actually got a spare 590 heatsink, because I've got one with a water block on it. Yes, I've got a few. So I may well have a look at that heatsink and take that apart instead, because that would be a much better idea, having one that's good and one that's not. But I really don't know yet. We'll just have to see. Anyway, yeah, let's get on with the rest of it. Right, I'm actually just going to whiz the inside out. Just going to run you around quickly. I need to remove those rivets. And then when we go around the back, oh look, there's already been one casualty. I need to get well careful with them. I need to remove that one and that one. That one and that one. There's 4 at the bottom, you can see them. And then also on the other side, that one and that one. I actually didn't put these rivets back in afterwards on the last one, and it was still strong enough. But anyway, they're the ones that I need to do. I'm literally just going to go and whiz them off with the drill now, and I will post back when I have removed them. Right then, lads and lassies, that quite literally didn't take me 5 minutes. You can see I've taken it all out as one bit. Eventually what I will do is take those 4 rivets out so that the drive bays come off. In fact, I'll go and do it in a second. But this whole floor section we will Dremel out. Obviously I don't really want to be doing that yet. You can see it opens the case right out. But this is the bit of alley that I had cut in 0.5mm. Basically the idea is that goes in the bottom like that. So just to explain, the reason why I got it, I've got to go careful with this because it is actually quite flexible. So I'm not going to be using that, and I'm going to have my power supply pointing up. So I just wanted to clean the floor up. Now I've had it cut quite, not short, but it's not a tight fit. Because once it's in there you're not really going to be able to tell anyway, and it does the job of quite happily covering the floor up. It just makes it easy to get in and out. You can see if you have a look at the end, I've basically purposely left a few mil right the way around the outside just to make life a bit easy. And in that side as well, just a smidge. Now, this is the drive bays, and then we've also got this bit that will go over here when they've all the bits have been cut. And obviously it's all going to be covered in carbon as well. It's just to clean the lines up a bit. That just fits in there all nice. And obviously we'll trim it in carbon before we stick it on. Now it's just those few bits really that are like the only real kind of like mega bits that I'm adding in. Obviously I've got to cut all the front out as we did before. I've got to cut this whole front section out, and I'll grab the grill because I've got a different grill this time. We've got that grill. Obviously we're going to put it in the back as we did with the last lot. But it's a hex grill as well. I'll be painting this white anyway. But that will go in, and it pretty much lines up. If I show you, if you see those holes there, that where the rivets were, and the fan holes meet up with that lovely. So that's the kind of angle that we're looking for. May chop a bit more out of this time, I really don't know. But whatever happens, I'm going to do the same as I did with the last one and mount it from behind. Probably going to put some C-strip around it this time as well, just to make it look a little bit prettier. But it's not really essential because I can quite easily just touch it up with a bit of white enamel paint, like modelling paint. Because you don't actually see it anyway. Obviously the fans are just there. I'm still not 100% sure yet whether I'm going to fit one of the covers for this, whether I might even just put a little bit of mesh behind so that you can see the fans on the other side, because it will light it up a little bit then. I really don't know yet. I'm still not really made my mind up until I start playing with it and start putting stuff back in there. But yeah, anyway. So you're getting there, trying to explain it a little, bit by bit as I go along. There are going to be a lot of videos like this, kind of like, trunching through. But hopefully you'll like it as it all starts to come together. This is just the basics. Anyway, I better move on and get on with something else. It started. Oh dear. Right, I got the spare Zotac heatsink out that I said I had, and it's actually slightly different. It's got ever so slightly different design to the top, whereas these panels are actually metal. My cooler is all plastic, so I'll easily be able to cover that with carbon film, and then I can just stick them back in place. And obviously then I can paint this part of the shroud. I've also got the little light bar out. There's a little light strip inside, so that's going to be good, because that will mean even when this is painted white, that G-Force logo is still going to light up, which should look quite cool. And then all I've got to do is work out what I'm going to do about putting LEDs around the fan, because obviously I've got to take the fan out, paint that white. I think I'm also going to paint this black section around the outside as well, just so that it's white, because it's really not a difficult thing to sort out. All of the pads and stuff on the back I'm probably going to replace anyway, because these pads aren't really, well, they're not really doing much at all, so I'm probably going to replace them all with some decent pads, and obviously change the tim and everything anyway. So yeah, I can get right on with that. So yeah, it's just a case of stripping stuff down at the moment. I mean, this probably looks quite daunting because obviously I've got a 590 cooler in bits, but once I've cleaned the last of the glue off, given it a quick buff with some Scotch-Brite and then dusted over some plastic primer. I've got to remember to put plastic primer on the inside around those bits, because obviously you're going to be able to see with the fan. So I just need to try and cover up as much of the black as possible that will be visible. But other than that, it's really not a difficult job. I'm just kind of doing little bits and bobs today. It's probably the worst way to have gone about it, but I can try and get bits and bobs done, and then I've got to admit, these two panels are quite easy to change. That almost seems a bit of a cheat, but I don't really know. I suppose we're going to have a nice bit of carbon in the middle here anyway, so maybe it won't look too bad when it's all lit up. I don't really want to have too much carbon in there. Something else I thought about was possibly, because I was going to use white LEDs in the fan, the other option I did have was to put a little bit more blue in, was to put blue LEDs in, but then I'm going to be using white LEDs to light the case with, so I'm a little bit daunted. I may not even put LEDs in it yet. I may just leave it spinning with a white fan. Another thing I'm not too sure about at the moment is painting behind where the fan is white. It may give it a nice bit of contrast when it is spinning if you've got the white fan with a black background, but though the black bit behind it, it's not really going to be affected if I blast over a bit of white paint. So yeah, I really don't know yet. Anyway, yeah, that's another bit. So basically now I'm just going to take these two heat sinks off, take the fan off as well. Also I've got access to stuff to paint it. Right, that's it. Cooler is completely stripped. Everything's out. Basically all I need to do is clean, as I said before, just need to clean the cooler up a little bit, get the last of the adhesive off, mask the bottom of the fan off, clean the two vapour chamber bits off, mask some bits off around here, just so that I can blow around the edges. I'm going to clean everything off the bottom anyway. But there we go. One cooler ready for painting. Now I know, turn around away from the lights, like I said, this is going to be quite a bit like a video blog kind of thing, and I will be doing things, picking it up. I know it would have been good to have done like one video on how to have done the cooler start to finish, but the trouble is I've got so many things to paint white, so many things to take apart. We've ended up taking ages, so I'm just going to do it in bits and bobs. So, I mean, let's face it, the regulars are going to watch it anyway. The only reason why I would want to make it separate videos is for people to have found easier just to watch a video on me painting a GTX 590. And to be perfectly honest with you, as long as the regulars are watching it, I'm really not that bothered. If people want to watch it, they can pick up, you know, bits and bobs and watch the project right the way through. Yeah, it's more of a project rather than a load of guides. So I didn't really want to go down that road. But where are we? There we go. You can see kind of where we're going anyway. And I've got the case bit done. I just wanted something to do this evening really, because I didn't want to go out because I'm going to a friend's leaving party tomorrow. So, and tomorrow being the 3rd. So yeah, I suppose I'm finding something else to do now. Right then guys, I've been and got a scalpel and a selection of blades, and I've kind of been practicing with the carbon, because obviously these plates on the Zotac card are removable because it's metal underneath. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. Obviously we're going to be painting it all anyway. Obviously I could inlay more carbon into the middle if I want, and there are little channels that I can run the knife along. The trouble is I'd have to paint it first, or do a lot of crazy masking up just to kind of carbon this middle bit. And to be perfectly honest with you, once it's white, I think these carbon inlays will be quite nice, because it'll be real subtle. I don't really want to chav it too much. Get it in the right light so you can see. There you go. It's real subtle, and obviously these plates are just, they just pop out. I'm trying to do it with one hand. There we go. These plates just pop out. They will have to be stuck in better later. But I think, oh, smack the camera. I think that's probably going to be the better idea, and also, like I said, the GeForce logo is still going to light up and stuff. So I think I'm going to roll with that idea. Kind of adapt stuff as we go along. I need to get a hairdryer sorted out so that I can start doing like the front panels and stuff, but this is just me at the moment kind of practicing really, for want of a better word. I've got 3 optical bay that I can do. Obviously I only need 1 because I've got the XSPC bay. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of carry on practicing really and seeing how they come out. On the edge of this, if the camera focuses, it's not going to anyway. There is a small lip around the outside anyway, so I'm hoping I'll be able to cut in along the lip and get some nice straight edges. But again, this is all going to be kind of trial and error to see how it comes out. But that's kind of what I'm doing today, and I've got a Firestar box that I'm cutting on, and then I've got me a scalpel blade. I've got some spares as well. I've also got some blades with rounded edges, but I honestly don't think I'm going to need them. But anyway, yeah, I'm just going to keep on practicing really, for, like I said, for want of a better term. So yeah, I'm going to keep cracking on. Right then guys, I am busy carboning the front panel, but I am learning as I go along. Now with the edges, what it's best to do is pull the edges out as best you can, get them down, and then fold the edges round, and then the best thing to do is whack them with a bit of heat. I have this turned down, hairdryer, heat gun or anything. Push the edge flat and then push it round the corner as well, and then give it a bit more heat. But one thing I will say is, because I'm learning on my feet, I've never done this before, if you get a bubble, don't heat it up, because it goes like that. Now I'm going to try and It's only a tiny little yellow dot. I'm going to try and just stick a little bit of white enamel on it just to cover it up, because I don't want to do the front again, but learning the hard way, and I'm not going to try and cover it up. Basically, I think it's the glue must come out from the bubble. There you go, you can see it better there. It looks fucking horrible. But I'm going to try and cover that up because the rest of it has actually gone really well. If I stick it in that light, that front panel is actually starting to look real good. But like I said, I've curved it round as well, so hopefully when the mesh goes in there, it will cover it up a little bit. Now, one thing I am starting to regret is because I've curved it round there, I kind of need to curve it round at the top. But where I've got that corner, it means I'm going to have to cut all angles and stuff, and I really don't know how it's going to come out. It would have been easier just to have cut it off on the corner, and I may still go back and run a I may still go back and run the scalpel down it just to make it so it's just the flat edge on the front. But for the time being, I'm actually, you know, like really happy with that. I mean, I'm not sure how it's going to come out on the camera, but I think that looks pretty cool. It's just a real shame about that. But like I said, I'm hoping I'll be able to cover that up enough and we'll chalk it up. Now, one thing I've done is I've left that, the Bit Phoenix logo, because I've got a couple of choices. I can cut it out. At the moment you can't really see it from the other side. If I stick this in, then the glue here pulls it in, because this sits ever so slightly back, pulls the film in, and then you can see like a very faint outline of the logo. It doesn't really look very nice. So basically my choices are leaving it off like this, and then when you I'll do it this way round. Now what I'm thinking there is maybe some carefully placed blue LEDs, and it could almost be like a ghosted logo, because no logo, turn lights on, logo. Yeah, like I said, I may stick some blue LEDs behind it, so when the rig powers on we have a ghosted Bit Phoenix logo, but we shall see. Like I said, this project really is going to evolve. It is complete carnage here. There's bloody stuff everywhere. I'm learning as I go along. I'm really not happy with this front panel that I've done already, because it doesn't match the pattern. It's the opposite way around, so I'm going to have to do this again, but do you know what I mean? I can live with that. That's the thing, I want all the carbon pattern to go the same way. So yeah, I'm going to keep plodding and see how I get on. But this really is turning into a mission, because like I said, I've never done this before, but it's really good. I am enjoying the fact that I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, and I'm just kind of making it up as I go along and just trying my best. It's been a long time, but the more I think about this, I may do some light shows later on that could look amazing on the rig, having a ghosted Bit Phoenix logo. But I'm pretty sure now that on this lower section I'm going to put an outline of the NurburgRig track. I think I'm going to do it in like a baby blue as well. I'm going to have to have a word with Ian at Radcarton and get him to make me some stuff up, because I think I'm going to go with baby blue, the NurburgRig, for the side panel as well. But anyway, yeah, very much oh, crawl, blimey, if I turn around this way. Very much a video blog style again, but I'm just trying to keep you updated as I'm going along. Yeah, speak to you again in a bit. Right guys and girlies, I've switched to a more subtle form of heat, and I'm also cutting all the corners in as well. You can see that straight edge along there. Well, on this one I've decided to fold it all around the bends, right the way around the back, and kind of a little bit underneath, although you're not going to see that bit underneath, that's just there so it's got a little bit more grab. But that top bit has come out much better. It looks a lot better. I'm actually really happy with the way that's come out, to the point where I pretty much am going to redo that bit, so I've not got that bit there. I mean, I could have kept that secret, but I wanted to show you, because at the end of the day we can learn about this stuff together. But that top section, especially where it's a 90-degree turn, loads of folds, there's quite a lot going on there. I'm actually, like I said, I'm really happy with the way that's come out. We get underneath the lights as well, so you can see a bit better. Or maybe it's just going to blind it all out. There we go, bit of shadow. There we go, lovely there. But I think it's not that different from the rest of the case, but it's just kind of, I mean there you wouldn't really know apart from the fact the logo's missing. But I think it just adds that extra little bit of stealthy class to it. And I'm really happy I chose to do this now. It is a pain in the arse. I've been here for quite a while trying to get this done. But the way it's coming out, I'm really happy with the effects. And like I said, I probably am going to redo that bottom bit now. But I'm going to move on to the top. Get the top done. There's a lot to do there, because obviously we've got the mesh in the middle. I have to cut out all the buttons as well. Still don't know whether I'm going to bother having the power lights or anything, because I may wire some lights in for the front panel, you know, where the badge is. So I may just blank these off. Also I may get rid of the reset as well. Obviously the less cutting I have to do, the less kind of corners and stuff, because it is a proper pain in the bum to get in there and do all of that. But also I am a bit worried about this edge as well, where I've got to put the mesh on it. I'd like to leave a little bit overhanging, so that when I push the mesh in, it pulls all of the excess in, so we'll get better corners. But I really don't know what it's going to be like with corners yet. I'm hoping it'll be alright. So what I might do is cut to this edge here around the inside, and then when I push the mesh in, fingers crossed, with a little bit of heat, it might pull it all in. But again, I've got a fair bit to do on that one. It's a long run of acrylic as well, which is also going to be a pain in the bum. But I can but try my best. I think I probably am going to do a bit round the front, so there's a bit overlaid at the front and the same at the back, just so that it's when it all goes together you won't just see any plain white bits or any, you know, like joins or anything. But yes, yeah, I suppose I best crack on really. Right then, just to give you a little bit of a run-in of what I'm doing, I'm laying, the way I've been doing it is I've been laying the film over first, over the whole panel that I'm doing, and then I go in and I'll work on the front edge first. I'll cut the bits down, I'll cut this edge off, so I'll run that down. Basically what I'll do is I'll run down the outside of this, there you go, if I look at it, this gap I looked at, run down the outside of that gap, so I'll cut that whole edge off, cut the whole edge off on that side, and then I start working on all the corners and stuff. Now I'd be here for a month for Sundays if I did the whole thing, but I'm going to keep the camera by the side of me and keep picking it up to show you the little bits that I'm doing. But that's the carbon over the roof, and I really like this stuff. I really like it. All the little kind of bits like folds and stuff, literally you can get a warm I will get my words out, you can get the hairdryer on, and any kinks you can get out. This stuff's amazing. But anyway, I'm going to get on with this, and like I said, I'm going to try and keep picking the camera up. Right then my lovelies, front done-ish. Don't forget, you're not really going to see this, you're only going to see the top. So I've just done the little bit of carbon a little bit further down, so it covers it up a bit better. Cut all the sides in, that's all done. Now I've just run over with the hairdryer, because like I said, I'm going to cut the line here, and then hopefully when the mesh pushes inside, it will help push the film in round as well, because it's quite a tight fit, so I'm hoping it will just kind of pull it all in round the corners. I've done round the back as well. It's not amazingly straight, but it's alright. But oh, I really like the look of this. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to get this cut in now, and I'm probably going to fit the mesh after I've done that. But I meant the side mesh, by the way. I may fit this mesh now just so we can see how it comes out. Fingers crossed is all I can say. Right guys, I severely underestimated the flexibility of this stuff, because I've not put the mesh in. All I've done is heated it up. Now the edges on the inside aren't that straight because I just, do you know what I mean, I've just run it round with the scalpel. You might be able to see there, but what I've done is just gone round and heated it all inside. So there's no crinkles, there's no bubbles, and once the mesh is on, you're not going to be able to see any of the rough lines or anything. This Dynox stuff is the absolute gonads. I mean, you can see the little line there where I slipped a bit when I was cutting. I don't mind showing you, but once the mesh is in there, you're not going to see it. But I can't believe it. Look, carbon roof. Absolutely bonkers. Now obviously I've got, this is the daunting bit now, because I need to cut all of those bits out. I still don't know whether I'm going to bother putting the LEDs back in or the headphone and microphone, because to be perfectly frank, I'm not going to use them, and it's one less thing for me to cable inside, so I may just leave those covered up, because you can't really see them at the moment. We will see when I start cutting bits, but I'm so happy with the way that's come out, to the point now where I really do need to change this bit again, because everything else has gone so lovely. I honestly can't wait to put the white mesh and the blue mesh in now. It is making me want to put blue mesh on it. I'm not sure whether it will add too much blue, and it'll be a bit of a mission to paint it, to be perfectly honest with you. I'd have to get a tin of paint just for that. But if we put it on even that way round, really am pleased with the way this is looking. Right then guys, as you can see, I've started to put it back together. We've got the buttons and stuff there. The edges around the buttons aren't perfect. I may go around and touch them up again. I've done all around the USBs. I've left the audio slots out on purpose. I think it helps it make it look a bit cleaner. Now a lot of people said to paint this mesh the same colour as that. To be perfectly honest with you, I think if I had that much blue on the roof, it might be a bit too much. Also, what we need to think about is the 140mm fans underneath are going to light up blue anyway. So I think I'm happy leaving that panel white for now, but these edges have come out absolutely brilliantly. I should go a little bit slower so you can see, but the only iffy one is on that corner. If you look really carefully, you can see there's a little bit of a line, but I am immensely happy. So yeah, that's the carbon roof done. The front I'm going to see, like I said, I keep showing you that little spot, but we'll have a see. I may well end up doing that as well. But I've got a optical bay cover that I need to do, and the front of the XSPC res now, but I'm thinking about doing a double hole on it. So we'll have that hole, and then I'll flip it around the other way, and we'll have another hole on the other side, so the front will have two cutouts. But I do need to have a little bit of a play with it and see how it comes out, because what I'm thinking is I'm not going to use this plate. I'm just going to put it straight onto the front of the res, because it kind of just makes more sense really. But yeah, oh my god, I have a carbon roof panel that I'm really happy with. Nearly done this bit now. Right then, thought I'd finish this by, you can see in my ugly mug, but then I'm going to drag you round the case for a look. I still may do the bottom of the front half of the case, the bottom again. I don't know, but I'm going to just give you a look round this so you can see it. I've put the blue strips on the top as well. But anyway, we'll have a look with it all on, actually on the case. I need to get this in the right light so you can actually see. There we go. If I stand here, right, if I go up slowly. You can see that little blemish. That's the reason why I may redo the front. In all honesty, it's not really going to take me very long, so I may just redo it. But I left that there just to show you that we do all make mistakes. I'm not a master at everything, and I don't pretend to be. So I purposely left that there. But like I said, I may just redo it again. Moving up, we then get to the top of the front panel, which has all come out lovely. The buttons, I'll admit, aren't perfect because I had to cut right the way around. I did want to have the die knock inside, so we had the same kind of effect as this, but then the button wouldn't work. It was too tight, so I've had to cut it. So I've cut it as best as I could by hand. You might think that there's like little, lifts and stuff here, but this is literally just the way it's folded over. I've done the USBs, but I've not bothered doing the audio, which should be here. I've done the little reset button as well, but yeah, I've just done the USBs. Then we can move along, seeing the carbon as we come back, and then pretty much the carbon goes right the way up. I've gone right the way around the back. If I come around this side, we can come back this way. It's very difficult to see that way. If we come this way, it catches the shadow a lot better. So, what do you think? Was I mad to have started putting carbon on this? I think it's just kind of given it a lush kind of, I don't know how to explain it really, considering it's not a massively expensive case. I have gone to a lot of effort, but this is one of the things I wanted to try and show you, that you can do some nice stuff. Yeah, the film's not cheap, but take your time. I have to admit, guys, this is a Saturday, it's lovely weather outside. I really should be out on my bike, and I have thoroughly enjoyed doing this. It's really nice. I mean, I've still got film left over to do other bits and bobs with. Like I said, I may redo this front. I may leave that there just as a marker to kind of like, yeah, I did make a mistake. But yeah, this was like one of the main bits of the build, was going to be this carbon. So what do you all think? Because I've got to admit, I am really happy with it. It has just given it that kind of that bit of, I don't know how to explain it, just that kind of bit of exclusivity. The fact that I've got a white carbon fibre effect Shinobi. Yeah, like I said, I'm really happy. But just because I'm happy, let me know what you think. As you know now, we've decided to call it the NurburgRig, and there's quite a few lads on the TTL page on Facebook. They're not like friends of mine or anything, as in like, because someone made a little bit of a dig saying that because I met Aaron and we were talking and we picked his name, he got a bit funny about it. But I honestly think the NurburgRig is brilliant, and to be perfectly honest with you, we've kind of done that, and I'm going to incorporate the name into the rig now. So we're going to have the NurburgRig logo on the front of the case. I hadn't planned on doing that. Yeah, so maybe, obviously, you're going to get the kind of people that moan about everything, but it annoys me sometimes. Anyway, I really would like to know your feedback on this, because I've not done a video like this for a long time. But yeah, like I said, I'm really enjoying doing this. It's nuts. But I'm going to get all these segments uploaded onto my PC now and rendered, and then I'm going to upload it while I'm getting ready to go out this evening, because I don't fancy doing any more on that today. But yeah, carbon fibre. Oh yeah, Tiny Tom Logan out. Right guys, just a quick one, just to finish the video off. The video is actually almost finished rendering, but anyway, obviously we can see that the front panel is completely covered with carbon film. but I had a little idea. How about a stealth Bit Phoenix logo instead, hidden in the carbon, so you'll only ever see the logo when it's on. One more time. Obviously I'm going to have to cover up the lights behind so you don't get so much light bleeding, but I've just literally just stuck it behind with tape just to see what it looked like. What do you reckon? I actually think that looks really nice, to the point where I almost don't want to put the NurburgRig logo on the front now, because it will spoil the clean kind of stealthy look. May have to put it on the side instead now. Even though the video is 90% way through being rendered and has taken ages, I think I'm going to stop the video now and add this, because I think this will be a perfect end to the first video of me actually doing stuff on the rig. So yeah. The lights have just slipped. Anyway, I really like that now.